Okay, we're gonna start recording. So, my friend Anna. Okay, so I'm gonna take my sponge and I'm gonna come over here and actually I'm gonna grab some white first. So I'm kind of dipping the whole top edge. I find like one of the top edges of my sponge and I dip, 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 dip. Grab a lot of paint. You'll need a lot of paint. The first coat of paint on any canvas needs to be pretty thick because the canvas is really thirsty is what I call it. So I'll take some of the white and then I'm gonna come over here to the blue and I'm gonna grab some of the blue now. See how there's blue and there's white on there? And then I might even grab just a couple of little tiny dots. I don't know if you can see it, of black. That's just gonna be how the blue will get deeper as I streak on the canvas. So I have my example right here, which is a larger canvas, but I'm gonna demonstrate on this one.
Because I can't get the blue one.
All right, so I'm gonna take my sponge with the colors. I'm gonna come up to the top, and then I'm just gonna pull down. And I start streaking down. You see that? So maybe I'm gonna come back. So I'm gonna start pulling down. Maybe this time I'm gonna grab a little bit more of just the white. So I want to have more white in the streaks.
Why? Yes. I'm sorry, but that was kind of really
So I am.
See?
There we go. Yeah. Now we're gonna try it and have different colors. It's okay if it's a little bit more blue this first time, but grabbing just a little bit more white the second time I go through. There's still blue on my sponge, so as I streak down, now it's getting a little more solid. We'll be able to go back with a second coat, but our goal is to do streaks and cover the whole background of our canvas. Well, Melissa, do you guys want to do aprons since you've got uniform shirts on? You know where the aprons are. All right, so I'm gonna grab, again, if you feel like, if you do a streak and then you see little white spots, right? You see little dots on your canvas, that means you don't quite have enough paint. And you need to go and grab some more paint in order to spread more. So that's fine. If you see, oh man, it's not going all the way. I get halfway through and then I can't get it all the way down. That's okay. Just grab some more paint. It's okay to even start your streak kind of more at the middle, like that. And you kind of can do, like I'm coming back with just kind of more white and add a little white streak in there. Look at that, nice and light. So, but I haven't finished my whole canvas yet, so I'll do that. Maybe I'll grab some more, the blue, and a little bit of the black again, because I want to do some darker. If you're wanting that deep kind of midnight blue color, a little, just a touch, just a tiny touch of black is how we can get that deeper color.
It's looking like a gray.
So it kind of looks bluish gray. Different streaks of it will kind of, and also the more that you keep streaking, the more that it's going to mix. So part of this is just being willing to go nice and light on some spots and then just kind of streak it and not do too much. You see how I kind of did just a little streak and now I'm just leaving it alone because I want it to stay kind of streaky right there. You know, maybe
overdoing it. Pay attention.
I know, just making sure all the stuff is.
Maybe I want to do a darker streak starting up here, and so I'll just kind of streak it down, and maybe do some on the back. And I think I grabbed a little too much black. You know what? Anytime you feel like, oh no, I completely messed up, you did not mess up. I promise. There are so many times I will do something and I'll go, oops, I just need to go back maybe with some white or maybe with some black and fix that. We can always fix it. There's no oops mistakes in there. Okay, we can fix it.
That's enough.
So now I'm starting to see a little more of these streaks and stuff. Do you see that? You want to go back in with, you see here? I'm I added some more white and just did more like light streaks. Okay. So it's going to be good for us to have some darker spots on our canvas as well as lighter spots. The darker spots, we're going to actually put some like sparkle dots on, which would be really pretty. And you don't need, like I said, we don't need to do too much. After a while, it just starts to blend into all one color, right? So the least, if you touch it just a little bit, but you kind of stop, then we can kind of keep some of these streaks right here. So for me, I think I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, because
What I'm gonna do. You guys have any questions? I wanna make sure if you're going and you're doing something, you're like, I'm not sure if I'm doing this right.
Okay, that's enough.
Naheem, you okay? Yeah, okay. Good.
Okay, let's stop. Let's stop.
Caden, we're doing all right? Yep, okay. I know Jesse's done stuff like this. How my Berry girls doing? Good, you can give me thumbs up. I know you're muted right now. All right, London, you're gonna want to take yours and get it back into the white and then just do some gentle streaks so that you have some of these little streaks on it. Do you see how I can see white and dark on mine? It just means you might have just done your sponge too many times and it blended all in one color. Yeah. So if you're wanting to do it where you have lots of still kind of these streaky different colors, it just means that you do just kind of one pass like this. Let's see here. I'll go right here and I'll just kind of see how that it made a little streak right there. And I'm not going to streak again. I'm just going to leave it like that. It's kind of like with curls. The less you touch them, the more they're going to stay in their form that you want, right? We don't touch our curls too much, right? Because then it just starts to go crazy. We get it, we touch it, and then we leave it alone. Same thing. Don't forget this edge with the easel. Sometimes you have to pull out a little bit so that you can finish that. All right. Does anyone else have any questions or want to show and see if they need to? That looks much better. Yes. Very good, London. Yes. Yeah. Yes, Alyssa.
Why did you say Jessica?
That's fine. Yep, that's good, Alyssa. Yes. Yeah, as long as we just see just some different ones.
Okay. Okay.
That's good, Nakima. Yes. I like that, Naheem. You guys might want to make sure that that white maybe is spread a little bit and not so thick so that it will dry. Yep, you're going to need some white though too. That should be good, Alyssa. Okay. Let's see here. Lillian, I think you were showing me, but I didn't see it. Lillian, you can do more streaks of white too, and I see that you're still working on a corner to finish covering.
Why you do that?
Yep. Good job, Caden. Yes, very good. Just leave that like that. My finger touched the spot. I'm gonna just streak it again. There we go. I don't know, but I'm glad you put on your apron. Yes, Alyssa. Yep, that looks great. Who's that doing that with you, Alyssa?
My Gigi.
Oh, okay. Good job, Gigi. I know Miss Shantha's going to do like a whole production line. She's doing like 27 tonight.
I told you I don't have any Christmas decorations up, so I got to do two. Put them on the wall and be like, there you go.
There you go, done. And then you got to use those long ones. So I've got an idea. I'll show you how you can just kind of extend it to make it taller, but it'll be fine.
I I just used the two regular ones because
Did you?
remember my other long one has a llama on it.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't have two long ones. So I was just like, you know what?
Yes, Kendall, that looks good.
Our blue is too dark.
Yeah, well, that's why you put it on there. You put too much on.
But I
All right,
think
good job, Kendall. Yes, I like that.
Okay,
All right.
that's good.
More here. See? See? Oh, because you want to use mine? You can finish up with some of mine. All right. So we are at this point, and that's the last you need. That's the only thing we're going to use the sponge for. So if you want to reuse this sponge, this is the time if you want to, maybe you can just set it in some water so that it won't harden. If a sponge dries out and hardens, it won't be able to get it out. There you go. Yes. Sure. Don't throw things. Okay.
Did we take out? Oh, we only
All
took
right.
out.
So the next thing that we need to do is we're going to put up our paintbrush. So we're going to try to make sure and leave the background. We're going to try and let this dry while we start adding some sparkle dots. So I figured out when I did the example that we want the background to dry, but we still want to be able to do something. So what we're going to be doing now is our sparkle dots. And let me show you on our example. You see these right here? See these little dots and stuff? We're not going to do the ones that are here in the tree. We're going to just do some kind of over in the area. And as you can see, they show up better when they're on darker areas. So all that this is just plain white with our brush and just doing little dots that are kind of like they're falling down from the sky, I guess. I don't know. It's very magical, right? So first rule we always do, I know some people that paint with me all the time, they know when we have a dry brush, we don't paint with a dry brush. What do we always do? We always make sure we get it wet first. A paintbrush always wants to be damp and wet. So we dip it in water and then we just drag off the extra on the edge of our cup. So my paintbrush is now damp. So anytime we're using paint, we want to make sure our item is damp so that it doesn't suck all the moisture out of our paint. Now, when you are doing this, I notice it's really hard to keep white clean and away from colors when we're using the sponge, right? So if your white got a lot of blue in it, you might want to make another little dot of white. If you can get to some clean white, I think I've got a little edge right here. I can get to some clean white, I might do that. But if you feel like you need to do another little fresh dot of white on your plate because you mixed up too much with the sponge, that's fine. So I'm gonna go here. Yeah, you two can share that white. Well, that's plenty for both of you because you guys have small canvases like me too. All right, so I am going to, also, if you have very liquidy white paint, more of like the craft paint, this is fine. For me, I've got some student paint and mine's a little thick, and sometimes I'll even add just a little drop of water to thin out my paint to make it flow better. So if you've got the student grade paint like me, just a little drop of water with it, but just want to make sure that it's nice and smooth and kind of easy to spread around. Okay, so I'm going to come over here to my canvas now, and I'm going to just start doing little dots. Little dots. Now, I want to remind you, a paintbrush is different than a pencil. If you were writing with a pencil, you'd push down really hard. What happens when you do that with a paintbrush? It goes flat, splat, doesn't it? A paintbrush is like, think of it like a feather. we're gonna tickle things. We're gonna just barely touch, or else if you go too hard, it'll smash. If you wanna have a dot, you have to tickle just the tip, right? So now I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna start doing some dots. So I've got this darker area right here, so I think I'm gonna start doing some. So I'll just go dot, 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 and just start putting little dots in. If you do too big a one, it's okay. Why don't you take your sponge and make a streak out of it? That's fine. We can just, if you did too much, but if you can see, I'm just doing these little white dots. And so it's gonna be kind of like an upside down triangle. It's wider at the top and then it's gonna get skinny to the end, like it's dripping sparkles. So maybe it's really kind of wide up here. It goes wider up at the top. And then we go down, down, down to like a little trickle drip of, it's fine. So that's one group of sparkles for me. And I didn't have to grab too much paint for that. I'm gonna go over here and grab some more fresh white paint. I got a little blue on the tip of my paintbrush from my background, and that's okay. So maybe I'm gonna do some more sparkles down this side. See, I've got that dark streak right there. That'll really show up. So maybe now I'm gonna do some dots over here. So dot, dot, dot. And just kind of going down this corner right here. You can start to see these little sparkle dots. Oh, I really want these to go down because this is a nice dark area and that'll really show up. Look at that. Look, looks like little sparkles. As you need to, you just grab some more paint and that's fine. I did also forget to say that with, if you have a canvas that has an edge to it, so if you have an edge, using your sponge to just go all the way around and use a blue like the background will just finish off your painting really, really nicely. So now you can see we've got all these little sparkle dots. Let's see. Maybe I'll start a little bit more kind of down here, like it's its own little cluster of sparkles. Maybe I'll do a couple more right down here on the edge. So I'm kind of leaving the center part open for that's where the tree is going to go, right? Or at least the ornaments. Alyssa, my daughter, she had the best idea and story for this painting. She said that it was a, what was it? It was a village.
It was a town and they were getting ready for Christmas and they bought all the ornaments to decorate the center of the town tree, but there was no tree that year, so they all got sad and then the star went and collected all the ornaments and made a tree.
I love that story. That made it so fun and magical. So like a magical star made all the ornaments float so that the town could have a Christmas tree. I love it.
I found that, yeah. I got a new mascot for you guys. I'm glad you said that.
So that is all we're doing right now is just adding just a couple of sparkles. We're going to add some more sparkles within the tree as we do it. But right now, just little dots where you see, where you want to. So all of ours are going to look a little different because you're going to go where your dots can be seen. Because again, look, if I did a dot right here on the white, where'd it go? You can't see it. White on double white, you can't see it. So you have to go where there's some darker spots, right? So maybe I'll do another little one going down that way. Okay. So that is that. I'm gonna rinse out my brush. There you go. Just be careful of your rinse that and your hair on the So now we are going to use our piece of chalk. Our chalk is going to be part of drawing our guideline for the shape of our Christmas tree. So it's actually going to be really easy, and even if your paint is still a little wet, it will still kind of write on it a little bit, at least give you some shape. So all that we're doing is we're making a triangle. Pretty easy, the shape of our Christmas tree. So I know I need to have some space above my painting, right, for where the star is going to be. So I'm going to, I'm going to come down. For me, it's about a hand. I'm going to kind of start. I'm going to kind of put a dot right there. I'm going to start my tree kind of right there. I want to have some space above it, right? So I'm going to take this and I'm going to travel all the way down to the corner. And I don't know if you can see. I just drew one line of chalk right there from kind of the middle to the corner of my canvas. Okay? Now I'm going to go the other way. And I now have a triangle. You see the triangle? Now, that, like I said, there's still some space up here because we're going to do it wider. And go all the way down to the corner. Make it nice and wide. That gives you a lot of space, right? If you go all the way down to here, we're not going to paint much outside of this line. So anywhere, so it looks like I kind of went over some of my sparkles right there. That's fine. That'll be part of my tree now. The good thing about chalk is if you make a mistake with chalk, yep, perfect, Caden. All you have to do is just get a little bit of, you can get your paintbrush wet or a wet rag and you can just wipe it right off. So chalk is so forgiving and so easy. You gonna do it? Alyssa, do your line the other way too. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to also use our chalk and we're going to do just the little swoops. Do you see the kind of the little swoops right here that we'll kind of use? So this first one, we'll just kind of start from the top and kind of swoop it down into the tree. You see that? It's kind of like an S, kind of swoops down to the tree. Okay, then the next one, I'm going to curve it this way, swoop it, go up, and swoop down. It's almost like an S. Do you see? That's what we're doing. And then we're going to do another one, except this one will be bigger. So we'll swoop, go up and down. And then one more. And again, if you have a larger canvas than mine, you may have more room to do more layers, but we're going to do at least 3 of these. Now, the reason we're doing chalk is just to kind of give you a guide so you don't feel worried about what you're doing. But the cool thing about chalk also is we can paint over top of it. So this is what we are going to do right now. We are going to, again, take just white right now, which I need to get some of my white. Yep, we're going to get our paintbrush out. We're going to get just white, and we're going to paint over that chalk, those chalk lines that we just did, not the Christmas tree line. Let me say it again, not the Christmas tree line like the triangle line. That one is going to be an invisible line that we will erase afterwards, and that's what makes this seem very magical, like it's floating. That's more of a guide for us, right? Shh, painter's secret, okay? So this time, though, we're going to just do these swirl lines that we did. So we'll start up here at the top, and I'll swoop and do a white line right there, right over top of the chalk. You can do, sorry guys, Look, I've got a friend right here. He wants to join. Silly. All right, so we're just gonna take white and we will just go along those chalk lines, and now that looked white, now they really are white with paint. If you need to stop in the middle of a stroke and grab some more paint to finish, that is fine. So we kind of, it curves up at one end, kind of travels along, it goes up, and then it curves down at the other end of the tree. So those are our little swoops. And then I'm gonna rinse out my brush. Very good. Yeah, and if you just have room for two, that's fine. Perfect. Well, there was the top one. Didn't go sideways. It's okay. All right, so this is where we are, where we have, we're starting to see the shape of the tree, the swirls, the swoops. If you see, they start at one line. They don't go past our triangle lines. So they stay inside. They stay inside the triangle lines. So these triangle lines, again, these are going to help us kind of keep our shape of our tree the whole time that we're adding stuff. Like when we're adding the ornaments, we're going to make sure that we add them just inside our triangle line. If we add it all the way over here, that doesn't look like a Christmas tree anymore. It just looks like ornaments got thrown everywhere. Okay. If you want to, you can always get some more blue and just kind of paint over the parts that went over. That's fine.
Wait, but is that the star one supposed to be on the tree? The star one?
We're gonna, I mean, it kind of goes up. Yeah, the start, yeah. The one at the very top does go up above our tree a little bit. All right. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start adding in ornaments, which means we need to pull out some more colors. We're gonna pull out our red and our yellow onto our plate. Ooh, that's more than enough. Nope, you gotta share that. It's too much. You don't need a lot. These are small little circles. It's always best to start with just a little bit of paint and then add more if you need to, because you kind of like toothpaste, you can't put it back in the tube. It's really tough.
Is there a yellow? Are we gonna add yellow on the white?
Yes, so we're gonna let the white
Okay.
dry first. Yeah, we're gonna let the white dry. So that's when we're moving on to the circles while these swoops are drying. But thank you, you're right, Kate. That's one of the ways that we can add yellow onto dark colors is by doing white first. And that's our little trick too. Hey guys, chill. All right, so we're going to do red, blue, actually white circles and some that we'll add a little yellow to afterwards, that same trick, Caden. And then we'll do some green circles. Who knows how we're gonna make green? Because I don't have green on my plate. Does anyone have green on their plate?
Well, I don't, but
You remember? Kate, Kendall, you wanna tell me?
Yellow and blue.
Yes. So we're gonna use yellow and blue to make sure and mix to do our green. So actually, let's first just start with one of the solid colors by itself. We'll just start with some red, okay? So I'm gonna take some red with my paintbrush, and we're gonna come over here to the tree. And we are going to just pick a spot. And if you look and see, I'll keep my example up here so that as I'm adding, we're gonna kind of spread them out. So it's gonna look at first like we don't have very many ornaments, and then we fill it in, just like when you decorate a real tree anyway. So I'm going to just come over here and I'm going to do a circle of red. Boom, one ornament. I will say also the ornaments that are down low are bigger than the ornaments that are up high, which are going to be smaller. And that's also gives us the illusion of this part of the tree is bigger and this part smaller. So maybe these down here are going to be a bit bigger. So I'm going to do another red one. I think it'll go right there. Just do a circle. And then maybe I want to do a red one kind of more here in the middle. Now red, you may be able to see through it a little bit. Red is a little translucent. Translucent means you can see through it. And so I can kind of see my red. We're going to do some other layers of the red that'll make it kind of stand out a little more. So don't worry, this first layer, that's why we're also starting with red so it'll have a chance to dry. So you don't need to do it too thick. Go ahead and do a thin layer, even if you can see through it. We will come back to them, so don't worry. Don't go, man, my red doesn't look like a good red yet. Do not worry. If you go too thick, we won't be able to add the next layers onto it. Maybe I can sneak one down here. I didn't give myself as much room underneath this last layer. Maybe I can sneak one down here.
Can you tilt your camera down?
That
Okay.
better? There you go. All right, so then I'm going to keep going. So I'm going to do another red one right here. They're not exactly in the same place that I did last time, but my canvas is a different shape and size as last time. So I'll just kind of do this. So let's see here. Maybe I'll do one right here. So this is where you're going around. We're adding circles. This is not too tough. We can add a circle here. We can add a circle there. We're spacing them out to make room for the other colors that we're going to add too. So it's not all solid red, unless you want an all red Christmas tree. I mean, you could. Absolutely, you could have that option if you wanted just red ornaments on there. But I think I'm going to stick with going multicolored ornaments to be able to show you guys. I think for me and my size canvas, I'm going to stop with the red right there. So I'll rinse out my brush. So the next thing I'm going to do is let's do some blue ones, but I'd like to do it where it's not the same color blue as my background, right? We don't want it to blend in with the color we already did, or else it's the same as painting white over white. So let's see here. Let's do kind of more of just grabbing the blue by itself. Let's see what happens when I grab just the blue by itself and start doing circles. And if I'll be able to see whether I can see it or not, whether I need to go lighter or not to see it. So let's see. I'm gonna do, yeah, I can see that. So I'm gonna do darker blue ones. On my example, I did lighter blue ones, and this time I think I'll just do darker blue. No, actually, I might lighten it a little bit. Just to lighten it, I'm going to add just a little bit of white. Let's see here. Yeah, I want it just a little bit lighter for me. So again, we're just going to go around. And add blue circles. Let's see here. There's another blue circle. Anyone having any questions? Right now it's pretty simple. We're just adding circles. Adding circles to our painting, spacing them out. And these are just kind of more solid colors. Maybe I'll do one. Ooh, this one's all the way over here in the corner. Maybe like he's fallen off the tree. Yes, Naheem.
Do we have to do it the same way how you do it with the spots?
Well, we all are doing the spots more, the globes right now. Yeah, but you can put them where you want to. So if you want to put them in different places, that's fine. As long as we're keeping in our triangle, right? So we made this triangle shape that we're going to keep it inside of. So, but yes, if I put a blue dot here and you want to put a blue dot there, that's fine. No problem. Let's see here. So again, I might not do any more because I need to make more room. I need to have room for my other colors. I've still got three more colors. So I don't want to fill it up too much. So, yeah. Yeah, so now we're going to go and we're going to mix some green. So, like Kendall said, I need some blue. I got my blue over here. I've got my yellow. They're all the way across from each other. So I'm going to have to bring, let's see, I'll bring some blue over to beside my yellow so they can be friends. I'll do some blue and then I'll grab some of my yellow and I'm going to come over here and I'll mix them together right here. Mix, mix, mix. When it's too dark, it means I need a little more yellow. And then I actually might grab just a little touch of white. There we go. It's starting to get more Christmassy yellow or green for me. I know on the camera sometimes it doesn't want to show, but you can hear right there it is. It's kind of more this. It's not too dark. It's kind of this medium green. And I'm going to start doing more circles with that. So yeah, that looks good. So now I'll go around and I'll do green circles. Don't spend your whole time trying to mix on the plate because you might end up painting your plate. We want the paint on our canvas. We want it on our tree. You're making circles, circles, circle, circles, lots of pretty circles. And these seem very flat right now. They seem kind of, I mean, they look like weird polka dots, but they don't seem that special. We're going to add some more stuff to it, yes. We will add more. All right, so I like this green. I keep doing more greens. I'm gonna stop, I promise. Okay, I'm gonna stop with that, make some space. Now the last circles that I'm gonna do are actually white ones. Yes, Naheem?
Do we have to mix the color and we have to color in that? Do we like put it on it or can we mix the colors?
If you already have a green, you can use that green. That's fine. I just didn't require a green, but yeah, if you have one, you can use that. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to do some white circles. Some of the white are going to stay white, and some of them we might go back and add some yellow to it. So this one is just going to be plain white. And this one will just be to fill in any other spots that you want. So these will just be plain white circles, kind of filling in places. Right. And again, some of them may end up being yellow, so it's okay if you have more white dots and they're even like really close to each other, because then you can turn some of them into yellow dots when they dry. Yellow is very translucent. Translucent means see-through. So it's very handy. White makes it so that we can paint over top. We're going to do some white ones. right, I think. I've got a lot of that. The other fun thing we're going to actually do is do some more of those white dot sparkles, kind of in between. We're going to do our white dot sparkles in between some of the ornaments. Okay, and like I said, this time I got really excited, did a lot more ornaments, but that's okay. The sparkles will still be able to fit. So that's just rinsing out my brush, getting plain white again. And what I'm going to do is just in between some spaces. I'll get this really close so you can see. Kind of in between some spaces, just go through and just add some of those little white dots that we did. So maybe some right there, maybe some right here, maybe some over here. So I'm just going in, can you see? And I'm just adding in some white dot sparkles wherever you want, in between where some of your ornaments are. So it's almost like the lights that we have on our tree. So we're just putting in just some different dots. So you can have as many as you want, as few as you want, but it will be nice to spread some out so they look more like clusters instead of everywhere. So it doesn't look like you've got a Christmas tree with the measles or chicken pox. You know, you want to just have little clusters of the dots, right? So it's like little sparkle groups. See the little sparkle groups right there? They're like little sparkle family and they want to hang out. So just doing a few of those. Dot, 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 dot. Always helps to say dot too. I don't know why, but it does. Dot, 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 dot. Here. Maybe some near the bottom. Maybe a few sparkles are escaping my tree. Maybe we'll do a couple over here, like it's coming off of the tree. I don't know. That's kind of neat. So those are our sparkles. Okay, you can overdo sparkles sometimes, although I really don't know how. You can overdo sparkles. Sparkles are fun. Okay, so now that I know the swoops are probably dry. We started with those swoops. We do also need to, we need to go ahead with just our white again, and we are going to do the star that's on top of our top swoop, okay? So this is going to be first just kind of a cross shape. So a down shape like a line, and then across, we're kind of like equal, so up and down and across. And then, let me see here. Wait, I'm trying to get my camera so you can see the top of my canvas. Here we go. And then I'm just going to do little lines going out from each corner that I made. So it's like I did the little cross, but then I did little lines to go out from each corner. Good, yep. So it looks more like a little starburst, right? But it's easy so that we knew that there was not the candy starburst. I did want candy. Oh my goodness. No, not that kind of starburst. No, this is then making the cross part maybe a little bit longer if you want to. So that's our star that's at the top. Rinse, 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 rinse. All right. So our star is drying. We're going to go ahead and add some yellow onto our swoops. Hopefully you still have some clean yellow. I made a boo-boo. Look, I put blue right in the center of my yellow. So I'm gonna have to try to get some clean yellow around the edge or put some new yellow down for myself. I should not have dipped right there in the center of my blob. That was not smart. Okay, so the thing with this yellow, it's super bright. We want to calm down this yellow a little bit. If you've got the yellow like me, this is like really, really too bright. So what I did for the other one is that we're gonna add some white to this yellow, and that's gonna calm it down from being like a really super bright yellow. And that's how we're gonna get kind of this warmer yellow color. So you see how there's a really, really bright yellow, and now we've got more of a soft yellow just by adding some white. So I'm going to go over here, scoop some white, come over to my yellow, mix, 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 and now I've got this softer yellow color, kind of more of this golden yellow, right? This is the yellow that now we're going to go back over our swoops. So I'm going to start, I'll start on this one swoop, and I'm going to follow it down right over top where it was white, and now it's yellow. Do you see that? Just took that soft, soft yellow that we made with the yellow and the white, and we swooped it down. And now I'm going to do the same thing for this swoop. So we're going to make this soft gold. Now it's okay if you don't cover all of the white. That actually is fine. That'll actually kind of look like it's got another layer to it. But we're just going to swoop over. Looks like I'm going to have to mix a little more of that yellow because I'm running low on it. Because this is a big swoop. This is the big swoop right here. Swooping and following my swoop and just adding this yellow. Well, I am the teacher. Hopefully I can teach. Yep, you can do all those swoops that we started out with. And like I said, we should have probably done our star early on because we're going to do the same yellow over top, but it's okay. We will get to that. It's drying even as we talk right now. So now if I want to, I can go back to a couple of those white ornaments and make a few of those yellow too, if you want to make some of those yellow. Like I'm going to go back and just touch it with yellow and make that one yellow. Maybe I'll make this one up here yellow. Maybe this one down here. So just a few of them. The white ones are kind of pretty too, but those end up being just almost like sparkles later on. So I like doing the yellows because we are going to do some shadows with the yellow. If your star is dry, you can go ahead and add to that. If you need to let your star dry, that's fine. We can come back. We still have this yellow. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. No, it's right there on our plate. We can grab it whenever we want to. Sometimes painting is about letting areas dry, coming back to it, and jumping back and forth. Uh-oh. I think we did. Oh, no, it's hard to tell. I'm not used to seeing so many people on my screen. Okay. No, I thought I missed Miss Shantha. She's hiding behind her canvas. That's what I was doing. Hey! I thought I was missing you. I was like, oh no, did she drop? Okay, we're getting really close, guys. So if you look at the circles, and like I said, if your star needs to dry, that's fine. We'll go back and add some yellow to that. But our circles seem very flat. They feel like kindergarten circles, don't they? Who wants kindergarten circles and who wants artist circles? Artist circles, raise your hand. Me too. The way we're going to do that is we're going to add a shadow and we're going to add a highlight to each circle. And what that means is that we're going to have to do that same color, but we're going to do a darker swoop on the bottom. And later we'll come back with just a little touch of white on the top. And that turns those reds, look at the red circles when we do that. Look at that. Or the blue, look at those. Or the green. It makes it sparkle, basically, like there's a shine. So what we're gonna do is now go back through all of our colors and just make a darker version that we'll go through and now add to each of our circles. Okay, so let's start with red. We started with red before. It's had a little chance to sit there, dry. So let's start with red. This time what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab some red, and now we're talking the teeny tiniest little touch of black. I know it sounds funny. Like, look, you can barely see the black on my paintbrush. The teeny tiniest little bit of black to mix in with the red, and it makes kind of this weird, you see how it got darker, but it's still red? That's all I really want. This weird dark red color, almost kind of purpley. I bet you if we added just a little bit of blue, it would make it that same thing. It's kind of this reddish purple color. Oh, that's looking really good, Naheem. All right, so now when I come up to one of my red circles, I'm not gonna put this color all the way around the circle. I'm just gonna go like I'm making a little C. I'm going to
say red and black.
Just a little touch of black, just to darken the red. Just
Okay.
Just a
Okay.
So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to swoop it just a little bit. Do you see where I just took it and it just went like a little C right there, just on the corner? This one. You see, boom, just like that. It's like a little moon shape on the bottom. It's a little moon shape of this darker color. Can you see that? Sometimes the camera doesn't want to show it. Let me see if I can make mine just a touch darker. I'm going to try not to go too dark, but I want you to be able to see this color that I'm adding. It's okay if it's pretty dark because it is the shadow. So I'm taking it and it's kind of going right there around the bottom. Do you see how now there's like a lighter red and darker red? Yes, Naheem.
What color do we have to use?
What?
For that.
So we're using red and we're adding just a tiny little touch of black to make it a dark red.
Okay, thank you.
He is so stinking cute.
I love him. That's yeah.
He is so cute. He's like, okay, thank you.
He and Jean are brother sisters, so they're in the same house. They're probably at the same table trying to. That's why there was.
Oh my gosh, Naeem is so cute.
Mm-hmm.
It's great too.
Now he's gonna start dancing. Now he's a showman. Now he's like, ooh.
Do we put a shadow on each red bulb?
Yes. Yeah. So we're just gonna go through and just add a shadow down at the bottom, just a little corner shadow on the bottom of each red one. So it's kind of like on one edge. On each red one. There we go. You see how I did that, Will? Yep. All right, so we did the reds. Let's go with the blues. So now, if you did straight blue, you may have to do a little blue and maybe darken it again with a little black. I think I might be able to do just straight blue is dark enough on mine. But if you ended up, yeah, we can just do, we're just adding just a little bit on each circle just to make a shadow. It feels like, oh, we just did these circles. Why we got to go back and do more on these circles? I'm done with these circles. No, come on. Every part of a painting is worth taking the good time to do it. And I know many of my artist friends right here that know that as soon as you get through all the parts and you see it all together, you know it was worth it. Right, London? She disappeared.
So we're adding blue to the, we're adding a little black to the blue.
If you need to, yeah. If you lightened your blue, then you probably could just do straight blue. Yes, Quinn, I'm calling London out. I know, I don't see her anymore. Is she going to go do cartwheels because she got bored? I can't hear you, Quinn. It's okay.
She left because she liked her painting how it was, so she said she was gonna let it dry how it was.
No problem. Every artist can make that choice, and I'm fine with that. So I'm glad. I'm proud of her for sticking in there. Yes, Naheem, you have another question? He's gonna do this.
We mostly had to like on the details. Can we do like details at the end?
We're almost done. We're at the end. We're getting near the end.
Oh, so
I like that. Are you done? Do you want to be done too? Done. All right, Naheem, if you feel like you're done and you like your painting, you can be done too. It's fine. All right, so I'm just gonna go now, and I'm gonna make another green, and I'm gonna make it dark green. So last time I added white to make a green. I'm not gonna add white this time. I'm just gonna keep it as a really dark green. So I'm going and I'm grabbing blue, grabbing my yellow, mixing right here, made a dark green, and we're gonna just finish up real fast, guys. So we're just going to, and again, if it's not quite dark enough, sometimes you can add just a tiny little touch of black in order to get it darker. And just go through and add a shadow to each one. Boom, boom, boom. We're going really fast because we're almost done. Almost done, guys. All right. I'm gonna add a shadow to the yellow. And then we're gonna do a highlight to everything, and then we're done. So yellow, I'm just gonna do the straight yellow, whereas before I made it a lighter yellow. This time I'm just gonna go through and just add just some regular yellow to kind of the bottom part. And I've got to be really careful because I've got a lot of blue in my yellow. It's trying to mix on me. So just going through each of the circles. Ooh, and also if your star has dried, this is a good time to go ahead and mix that light yellow again. And go ahead and hit that star with that yellow, so that we're done with that. But some of the white again can shine through so that it looks almost like it's shining, right? So that's kind of neat. See here, let's do that. Circle, circle, circle. Okay, rinse, rinse, rinse. Now I need some clean white, and goodness gracious, I keep mixing my whites up. You guys have any clean white? No? Okay, I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna do one more tiny dot for me of white paint. All right, so the key now for our little highlight is I'm gonna take white, last little bit, last thing, and so see this green? See this green circle right here? I've got my dark shadow right here. On the other side, I'm gonna do a white dot, or like a little white swoop, and that is going to be, that's gonna be the highlight. So I'm going to now just, whoop, like that.
do we do that on all of them?
Yep. Well, not on the white ones, but every other one. we're just gonna go and do boop, just a little white. So you can just go along every single one. And the opposite side that you did the shadow, just add the little swoop for the highlight.
Okay.
Yep. So that's that is the little artist secret. Quinn, you can let London in on that. If later on she wants to add these after her painting's dry, she could still do that and it will still work very well. So I am just going in. And then the last little secret, rinse your brush out really well, and you use your brush that's just slightly wet to erase your chalk line. Watch this. It's like magic. I'm literally just painting away that chalk line that's on my triangle, and that, not too wet, you don't want it drippy wet. And now, if you see any pieces of chalk that you don't like or spots, you can just use a damp. There we go. Look, I don't even see the chalk lines anymore. The chalk lines have disappeared. We are done. There we go. You guys, I'm taking a video of, look at this big class, last class of 2020. I'm so proud of you guys. We had a lot of fun. I want to see those paintings when we're all done, okay? Not yet. I'm gonna let everyone finish. Let me see it. I really like it. It looks so pretty. Right there. You know every Christmas tree looks different. Jessie, how'd yours turn out?
And Mommy, in mine.
Oh, I love it. Yes. Do you erase your chalk lines and stuff? Because that's the magic of this paintings. You got to erase those chalk
I'm
lines.
kind of ruined, so I just gave up and stopped.
No.
Quinn. Oh, I love it. Is that yours, Quinn? Look, Quinn, this is Alyssa. She's showing you hers.
They're really fun.
Make sure you put it in a bag.
Yep, here is. Here's Will. Good job, Will. I'm gonna get a picture once everyone is.
Alexa.
Shanta, do you know how to do like the screenshot?
Alexa. She's gonna do a picture, I think.
A picture of what?
Paintings.
No. Like coffee.
I can learn how to do that.
Let me see. I know. Let me see. 1 minute. Let me think.
Matt? I'm gonna stop the recording because we're all done. So Anna, I hope this works, and for anyone else that gets to watch.